Tiger's Eye Ceramics is my business. My studio space is secured. It is on McMahon Street near Arcata Elementary. I will have ample space to work, and I will be able to wake up in the morning and bike to the studio. My website has been launched, and I will spend the summer adding new products and a shopping cart linked to PayPal. I have done my due diligence, financial projections, market research, and contingency planning. I've concluded this business will succeed. I'm here tonight to tell you why I chose this path. I'm here to tell you why I'm willing to work longer and harder than most to make this dream a reality. The answer is simple. I love my job. I love the sensation of bringing a new form into being. I create using my hands, earth, and water. The result is craftsmanship. I think most individuals would agree that they want inner peace. Creating ceramics allows me to work and be productive every day and still maintain the inner peace that I desire. Rain or shine, I'll be creating ceramics for the rest of my life. All the work you're seeing tonight was created and photographed in Humboldt County. The fact that my work is created in Humboldt County has been a strong selling point. My customers love it. Whether it's sentimentality, novelty, or just the visual appeal of my photographs, it does help sales. Wallace & Hines was founded in Blue Lake in 1977. They have been in business for over 30 years. I imagine that if they were a startup company in my shoes, the judges would have serious questions about their sales projections. How many high-end bars can you sell in Blue Lake, California? How many high-end bars can you sell in Humboldt County? How many high-end bars can you export out of Humboldt County, and why would consumers choose you? Finally, in times of economic decline, how does such a luxury business stay in business? They have been in business for over 30 years, and they are still doing what they do best in Humboldt County. 30 years later, they are still bringing money into Humboldt County for their specialty products. Wallace & Hines claims to make the best bars in the world. My standard of craftsmanship is the same. I've traveled far and wide to build a foundation in craftsmanship, and as I expand my business, I will travel far and wide to build a strong and lucrative sales network. The piece on the screen is called a spirit vessel. It is meant to hold, protect, and honor things of personal and spiritual significance. This can be literal, a crystal from the earth, a feather from the sky, a shell from the ocean, or it can just be a place to gather prayers and intentions. The role ceramic art plays is diverse because even the most exquisite forms can still serve a function. My sales experience has showed me that customers first desire my work for its beauty, but function is often what tips the scales from interest to a sale. I would like to ask you all, would you ever consider buying something like this? Do you know anyone who would appreciate my work as a gift? The image on the screen is a good representation of what is currently selling well for Tiger's Eye Ceramics. Simple, clean design. Dynamic, assertive glaze with variated chroma. I try to glaze my work in a way that is rich and natural, yet sharp and modern at the same time. My first experience selling artwork was in 2005. I sold clothing and wall-hanging dies. It was very enjoyable, and I did make sales, but my raw material cost was enormous. By purchasing clothing and adding dyed patterns, I was adding value, but not enough. My margins were insufficient. Inner ceramics. I can make a 12-piece dinner set out of a 25-pound bag of clay. Retail, this bag of clay costs $8. By purchasing my materials in bulk, I can get it for $5. Using affordable materials and my own labor, I can create beautiful work that serves a purpose. These are all microwave and dishwasher safe. Bowls are my most consistent seller. After considerable research and development, I can create work to order using tried and true glaze combinations. They can be sold individually or in sets, and my experience at fairs has shown that for single pieces under $30, sales are consistent across many demographics. My next logical step is to sell complete dinnerware sets. My specific marketing goals include selling sets as wedding presents and as custom decor for high-end events. I have the control and expertise to produce work of this caliber and the precision to do so on schedule. By advertising and networking with a wedding and event coordinator, I will gain exposure to a consumer base that is already prepared to spend significant amounts of money. In a moment, I will introduce you to my contact in the wedding industry, but first I would like to talk about retail sales. Profusion is a strategic partnership with Katie Art and cuts both of our sales expenses by 50%. I adjust my display slightly at every show, and I have learned a lot about how the spacing of the show determines customer flow and comfort. Retail sales provide the best possible source of market research. I'm able to constantly reevaluate my market, product mix, and pricing strategies. I've found that grouping by color is the best organization. As stated before, I plan to market my work to consumers planning and attending high-end events. In this atmosphere, I could supply matching sets to be used as part of the decor for the event itself. Additionally, they can be substituted for more traditional gifts, such as jewelry or electronics. Comparatively, my products are very affordable. Clients who hire event coordinators often have significant budgets for design, and I plan to make a name for myself in this industry. I have a competitive advantage in this niche market through my relationship with Serendipity Events. I plan to have a printed catalog and be accepting commission sales by August 2012. So what is my strategy for successful market entry? Laura Hutchinson. She coordinated the fundraiser mentioned in my business plan, and it was an absolute success. I donated 2 small pieces to the silent auction, and they raised over $100 for the Guide On Foundation. I've known Laura since high school, and I'm confident that we will have a very successful business relationship. Before I close, I'd like to make a few brief points about social responsibility. I'll recycle 95% of my clay, reducing waste and saving money. I will give as often as possible to local fundraising efforts. I don't consider this a sunk cost because it benefits the community around me. Further, my material cost is low enough that when I donate my work, rather than money, I'm primarily donating time. Last month, I loaned $350 of my investment capital to the Healing Circle to purchase supplies for their hoop making workshop. I'll be receiving a reimbursement check in 2 weeks, and this loan will have no negative effect on Tiger's Eye Ceramics. However, it allowed the Healing Circle to create their hoops and provide an excellent experience to their club and community. I'll be donating a few small pieces to the Multicultural Center next week, and my work will be raffled at their benefit concert in this room, Thursday, May 4th. In my elevator pitch, I expressed interest in reviving the ceramics program at Zane Middle School. Last week, I drove to Zane and spoke with Kim Slack. She was in full support. She wants to bring the ceramics class back, and she wants to rehire me for 2 shifts a week to run the program. I plan to create a ceramics studio in Arcata that will allow myself and 1 other artist to make our work. And as stated in my elevator pitch, I will spend 100% of the seed capital at local businesses purchasing plant assets for my business. Thank you.
Thank you, great presentation. There's no doubt that you have beautiful work. One of the things that you had mentioned in your business plan was the possibility of securing a Whole Foods contract.
Yes.
So my question to you is in the event that this is secured, then you at that point would obviously have to produce a lot of inventory to stock their stores.
Yes.
How would you deal with that kind of growth?
That growth is actually my most ideal scenario. I would love to secure a large contract with Whole Foods. I enjoy making work more than I enjoy running around and selling it, and that would be ideal. What I would do in that case is I would still produce all the work myself. I've done the calculations and I could keep up. What I would have to do is hire a studio assistant to clean behind me, to mix glazes, and to do basically everything other than bringing the clay from raw form into the finished form.
So if they were to say to you, okay, we'll give you this contract, but we need 2,000 dinner plates by next Saturday, where are you going to come up with the cash to be able to do that? And then also, from a time frame standpoint, is that really doable?
From a time frame standpoint, that's totally unrealistic, and I think they would understand that. In terms of the cash, I have a pretty strong working capital and contingency fund built into my business plan, and the spending plan also provided for all the plant assets that I would need. So I really don't think there would be additional plant assets needed to increase production, maybe more storage space, but essentially the core equipment that I would need to run my business at any scale would be capable of sustaining me in the case of that type of growth.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you sell to retail shops here in Humboldt County?
I don't yet. I've talked to Global Village Gallery, and they're interested in seeing my work, and I would love to expand on that, but I haven't sold to them. I've had stores host my work on a consignment basis, and that's gone very well. I've had it in Rogers Market in McKinleyville and Central Organic Market in McKinleyville, and I actually just was getting a haircut today, and I talked to the woman in Cutting Edge Haircuts on G Street, and she wants to show a small selection of my work in her store with business cards. So at this point, it's mostly consignment to the end consumer. I would love to expand wholesales directly to businesses, but I haven't done that to date.
And when you do consignments, what are the economics of that? Do they take a percentage of the sale?
Typically, I think industry standard is 65-35. When I sold my work with Evan at Central Market, I proposed that because that is what I knew was a standard. And he actually is a young entrepreneur himself. He was a part of this competition. He let me sell my work for free, and just out of the kindness of his heart. So in order to recoup that generosity from him, I gave him and his wife 2 pieces of mine at the end of the sale. But 65-35 would be the standard.
My question has to do with this. There's kind of 2 operations, 2 businesses, 2 identities going on here. There's the artist and those beautiful pieces you show, and then there's the dinnerware sets. We had a local glass artist who had a similar thing, and he, after a short time, sold off the dinnerware part because it was just like a grind. And that I would like you to address that a little bit. Is it teachable? Could you have 2 guys making dinnerware while you're creating? Or just talk about that a little.
At present, I really like the idea that everything from my business was created by me. I could absolutely outsource that or hire it out. I could teach other potters to create my forms for me. I can't say at this point whether I would want to do that, but to answer your question, I absolutely could. In the case that I made that move, the most likely scenario would be me showing the forms to another potter or 2, supervising them, and I would still take care of the glazing because that, I feel, is one of my core competencies. That's one of the things I do best. I would always want to do that stage of the process. In terms of your greater question, as I was mentioning, in terms of retail sales, functional work under $30 is my bread and butter. That's where most of my sales lie. I haven't yet looked into trade shows, as we were talking about in the interview. I don't have enough information about that. If I had it my way, I would love to produce my fine art if it was reliable. The reason I have kept dinnerware as such a part of my business is because it is reliable. It keeps me economically sustainable. So as time goes on, if I'm able to find sales channels that can support my fine art, I think I would love to move my production mix in that direction.
Hi, Jory.
Hey.
I agree, very beautiful work. One of the questions I had, you talked about the low-cost materials on
Yes.
producing 12-piece dinner set. I think you said it was in bulk $5 for just the clay.
Yes.
How much time does it take you to produce a 12-piece?
I would say, I haven't yet tracked that exactly, but from the top of my head, I would say I spend an hour on each piece, and that's each piece of the 12-piece dinnerware set, and that is broken up into the various stages. I think throwing it originally takes probably the most time, 20 to 25 minutes per piece, and then firing it through the successive stages and glazing it. So I would say roughly an hour per each small functional object.
So about 12 hours for that 12-piece set?
For this set, yeah.
Yep. And what's the price you sell that for?
I haven't yet sold 12-piece sets. My my average price for, a medium-sized piece of functional original work is $20. So that would be $240. I wouldn't, I would price break it to probably $160 to $180 for a 12-piece set.
Okay. And then have you taken that and figured out what you'll get per hour on that basis, and is that survivable to run a business?
Yeah, I have looked at that. My main cost is paying myself. That was, the biggest expense, and I made sure that it was doable. I believe my salary was, or my pay was roughly $14,400 for the first year, and that is something that is okay with me until I get off the ground and get running. It's kind of like I'll do whatever it takes, Obviously, I would love to get a large contract with Whole Foods and really increase my volume, increase my revenues, and have business be booming. But because my fixed costs are so low, rent, utilities, there's really very, very little plausible way for this business to actually fail. The only thing that would happen in an extreme situation of loss of revenue would be I would have to cut my hours back, continue running the business, and maybe take on a second job to supplement.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned you hope to achieve inner peace, and God bless you, and I hope you do that. My question, however, is as a judge, one of the things that we're looking for are individuals so passionate and so dedicated to their business. They sleep every other night and think about the business from the time their feet hit the floor to when their head hits the pillow at the end of the day. How does that reconcile? How do you reconcile those two things about passionately pursuing your business and inner peace, and how much do you expect to work per week on your business?
I would say that I will probably be working an average of a 40-hour week on my business, possibly closer to 50. And to answer your question, I do sleep every other night. I think most people who know me well could attest to that. I guess in terms of reconciling those two ideas, I would rather lose sleep and push for something that I believe in and care about deeply than have a leisurely life where I spent a couple hours a day doing something that I felt was inconsequential. So even in times of lack of sleep or lack of leisure, I feel peace because I'm really pushing something that I care about and that I believe in.
So you're sleeping every other night, however, you're only putting in 40 to 50 hours?
I'm a full-time student, sir.
Okay. No, but my question is, when you start the business, how much do you anticipate putting into the business on a weekly basis?
I think 50 hours a week is a fair estimate.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I concur with everyone that your work is beautiful. I really appreciate the slides and the way it looks. My question for you is, why do you want to be a business rather than just a studio artist? I mean, it sounds really, from what you're saying, you're primarily a studio artist who has a business. I'm just curious why, what's driving you there?
Economics. I want to be sustainable. I want this to be my career. I want it to be what I do for 50 hours a week. And so far what I've found is that having a diverse portfolio of products is the best way to do that. To answer the question, I really do enjoy the dinnerware. The reason I mentioned I would be willing to shift out of that is because I feel my fine art is more of a core competency. It's more something that if I don't make it, it will never get made. but I do enjoy the dinnerware, and I feel that the life of a fine artist, I'm an art major, I know quite a few, it's economically unpredictable, and I found that functional ceramics have provided me that stability in my business.
So that actually provides an opening for a follow-up question.
Mhm.
On your business plan, you have an $8,000 line item for a solar system.
Yes.
And I'm just curious what that has to do with ceramics. And as a follow-up, based on your proposed profit margin, do you have a sense of how many pieces of work you'd have to sell to pay for that?
In terms of how many pieces it would take to pay for that, it would be quite a few. I can honestly say that that is an investment I would not be making without the seed capital from Economic Fuel. Well, let's get you a number here. 8,000, average of maybe $25 a piece. So we're looking at 40, 320 pieces, I believe. I'm on the spot, but
More, yeah.
yeah. Oops. Anyway.
Could I follow up on that, Cedar?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I look at it a little bit differently. In your plan, you've got your PG&E bill is $1,760 for the year.
Yes.
If you could cut that in half by using the solar array, whatever, you would save $800 a year. That means it would take you 10 years to pay it back.
Yeah.
This is the way you have to think about capital. Not that you got it free, but how do you get a return? Where should you invest it?
Oh, no, I was thinking about it that way. I guess my response was geared towards the question of how many pieces would I have to produce and sell.
I appreciate that. It's just a little different way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I did include that for a reason. It does benefit me.
What is the benefit, just out of curiosity, of the solar system?
Electrical expense. I have electric kilns and gas kilns. The electric kilns are expensive to fire. It's a very big part of my operational expenses.
So you can run electric kilns on solar cells? Do you know that? I mean,
I actually contacted Scurfield Solar in Eureka, and I haven't heard back from them yet. At this point, where I stand with that line item is that I'm committed to spending that on a solar system, and if there's another firm other than Scurfield Solar that's willing and able to fulfill that for me, I'd love to have their business.
May I ask a follow-up question there?
Yes.
If you did not win the award through Economic Fuel, but had to borrow the money, would you still pursue the solar system?
I'm not familiar enough with borrowing rates. I would have to sit down and take a minute and basically figure out how long it would take me to recoup my investment through energy savings and how much interest I would incur during that period. I'm comfortable that I could come up with an answer, but I haven't yet done those calculations.
Thank you.
In your business plan, and in your presentation, you indicated that through your contact in San Diego, you feel you'll be able to market and sell your work.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you see the volumes going in the next 2 years out of that, from that particular vendor. I mean, you'll be providing the work and so forth. And how do you anticipate getting that down to San Diego?
USPS flat rate shipping. I'm comfortable packing ceramics in a way that they don't break in the mail. On my financial projections, I budgeted for 10 purchases a year, 10 commissions at $120 each. So that's what I was looking at through this sales channel specifically.
Let me follow up and just, if I may, address yourself, if you would, for me. It seems to me you're a little, if I can use the word schizophrenic, you're an artist and you want to be a business person. What happens, for example, let me ask you this question. What happens if 6 months from now your units are going out but not at the volume we want? You need to figure out how to get them out faster. and you conclude that you have to modify how you're producing them in some way, shape, or form to get them out faster. Can you reconcile that with the artist in you? That is, let's say you have you decide you're going to have individuals producing plates for you, and you're just going to be putting the glaze on, and it's no longer a work of art. It's a product. Can you reconcile that as a business person, or do you see yourself, or are you more an artist?
I could see that. That's not the path that I project, but if that were the case, if that were the most beneficial situation, I love being around ceramics. If my relationship were to change into a more managerial role, I could absolutely do that. It's what I love to do, and it's what I'm good at, and if success in a business sense meant hiring employees to produce the work and taking an organizational role and facilitating production, I could do that, yes.
So talk to us a little bit about the gallery sales in terms of if you are able to get your work into galleries, are those also on a consignment basis, or what are the financial dynamics of that?
You pay for gallery sales. They're typically 40 to 50%. The way that really hashes out is that gallery sales, they do take, a large commission, but they do a lot of work in terms of bringing in the clientele who can purchase this work at what some might consider to be inflated prices. So the essential idea with gallery sales is that they do take a very large commission, but they find buyers for you that you would never find, and they sell your work at such a price that your net is still very comparable to anything that you could sell it for using your own marketing tools.
So you feel you can upcharge the price enough to where you're going to offset the additional portion of it that they take?
That's the industry. Okay.
Thank you.
You mentioned early in your presentation a website.
Yes,
Do you have a website now?
I do.
And do you sell off of that website, or is it just sort of an advertisement, a display?
Right now it's an online gallery. I'm waiting to finish school, and in June I'm going to connect the shopping cart. I'm already paying for it. It's $16 a month, and I just need to take the time to plug it in once I have a little more time to do that.
And, I mean, if you do a website, there's only about 3 trillion websites out there. How do people find you?
The main way I would direct traffic to my website is through Etsy.com. I have a lot of peers who create ceramics who've had a lot of success with Etsy. It's a big online marketplace that gets a lot of traffic, and it's a very conventional thing for artists to place work on Etsy, pay the small placement fee, and then also get direct traffic to their own website through that.
Thank you.
Thank you.